Welcome back everyone to the Hello World Guy, and this is another episode of our Asteroids game in C++ and SFML series. And in this video we are going to implement a shooting delay first of all for our players, so that we can only shoot our bullets for example 5 times in a second, and not every frame like we were able to do previously, because that was obviously a bit too much. So in order to accomplish that, what we will do is we will need to kind of measure the time, which we can do quite easily since we already have this delta time, which means the amount of time in a second, and we can use that to measure time in seconds. So what I am going to do is create a float called shoot timer. Then in the constructor we'll just initialize it to the default value, which is 0, and we will go up here where we have got our constants and define a constant called shoot delay, which will set to 0.2, which means that essentially it will be able to shoot 5 times in a second. Now we'll go down here, and when we are shooting we need to also check if our shoot timer is less than or equal to 0. If that is not the case, we will not allow the shooting to occur. Then we will go ahead and say shoot timer is equal to shoot delay. Whenever we shoot, we are going to reset the timer back to shoot delay, and every iteration of the loop we are going to subtract the delta time from the shoot timer. And yes, that is going to do what we want for us, and it's going to allow us to shoot it only at a specific rate. So you can see if I press it now, I can no longer shoot continuously, but it looks more like a nice thing. Basically it does not look like we are shooting every frame. Instead we are only shooting at the rate of 5 times per second. So that is got one thing done, but all of these bullets that we have created, all of these bullets are like forever. So these bullets will never get deleted from the memory, and they will keep going on and on and on, and that is of course not what we want. After a little while we want the bullets to be discarded. So after we have done a little bit, you can see we have got here we have got our bullet, and after a little bit of time we want our bullets to automatically destroy the actual bullet entity automatically, so that we don't get a memory leak of any sort. So now we need to implement that. So in order to actually go ahead and implement the deletion functionality, you might be tempted to just delete it directly in the update function when the lifetime of the bullet is over. However, that might cause a problem, because you generally should not delete something from a loop from a vector or an array while you are looping over it. So it might cause a problem if we actually do it that way. So instead we are going to do it in the end by maintaining a list which will contain all of the stuff that we are supposed to remove, and once we have done that we are going to remove those things. So for this I'm going to include the list library here to implement a linked list, and we are going to create another global variable which will be a list, and the type of it is going to be the iterator of our entity vector, which will be std vector of type entity pointer, and its iterator, which will represent the correct iterator type, and it will be called to remove list. Now what we will do is when we are clearing our window, we are gonna remove the clear the to remove list as well, so that every time we run it has a fresh list. And afterwards what we have to do is to run a for loop to kind of go over each of the remove list items, and then just erase that item from entities. And we are going to make this const, and also we are going to make the iterator const iterator, since we don't actually need a non-const iterator. We are going to create a float called lifetime inside of bullet, and let's first of all create a constant called bullet life, which will set to 3 seconds, because that is quite enough. And we can initialize our lifetime to our bullet life by default, and if our lifetime is less than or equal to 0, then we are going to add this std find, and we are going to find this pointer, so entities.begin and entities.end, we are going to pass that, and for the value we are going to pass this pointer, and we are going to find that, and we are going to push that iterator in our remove list. And afterwards we are going to just delete this. And another thing we need to do is we'll need to subtract the delta time from the lifetime on each iteration. However, this is going to actually cause a problem, because we'll have deleted this bullet while it might still be referenced inside of our render function. So we delete it inside of update, but we try to render it, it won't work. In order to fix that problem, we'll need to remove the delete this here from here as well. And instead, when we are going over the remove list, we are going to also delete the IT, and we are going to re-reference the iterator, which will give us a pointer to our entity, and then we are going to delete that. Now in order to test that, we are going to implement a small debugging thing here, which is that we are going to check if our event.type is equal to sf event key pressed, which means the key was pressed. And this is basically because we want to check for an event if a certain key is pressed, and when if that key is pressed, for example q, then we are going to print the entity size in order to help us find out how many entities are being deleted. So we are going to see if the e.key code is equal to sf keyword q. If that is the case, we are going to just use a standard printf here to print the entities dot size to the output, to the standard output. And let's run that, and hopefully what should happen is that when we press q, we should see that well, first of all, if I press q right now, you can see here, let me just zoom in a bit on this so you can see it better. You can see that it says 1. The reason is that of course currently the only entity on the screen is our player. Now if I start shooting and then I press Q, you can see it says 8, and then 14, 15, 16, and then I stop, then it says 13, 10, 7, 4, 2, eventually until all bullets get deleted, which means that our system is working correctly and the bullets are being deleted when they are supposed to be deleted. So yeah guys, this is pretty much it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one, in which we'll implement some more important stuff for our game, which is that we are going to implement an interactive environment and start implementing the actual asteroids. So we'll do that in the next video. Make sure to stay tuned for that, and also make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss that video, and share this video with other people as well. And I'll see you in the next one, and bye.